Life shapes its strongest warriors in the quiet chambers of isolation. Think of a blacksmith's forge where the finest steel doesn't know the comfort of company. It faces the flames alone, and through this solitary trial, it becomes unbreakable. This same principle works in your life, shaping your character through the challenges you face by yourself. Every remarkable achievement, every breakthrough, every moment of true growth begins in solitude. The strongest steel isn't forged in a crowd. It's shaped by intense heat and pressure, alone in the crucible. Like that steel, your greatest strength emerges when you stand alone, facing your challenges without. I'm reminded of countless stories where individuals discovered their true power, not in moments of support and comfort, but in times of solitary challenge. These moments strip away everything except what truly matters: your inner resolve, your determination, your raw potential waiting to be unleashed. Your personal strength is like an untapped well, deep within you. But this well isn't discovered during easy times or when others carry your burden. It reveals itself only when you're forced to dig deep, when you must rely solely on your own resources. These solitary moments aren't your weakness. They're your opportunity to discover just how strong you truly are. The path to exceptional achievement isn't paved with constant support and endless encouragement. It's forged in those quiet moments when you choose to keep going, even when no one is watching, even when no one else understands. This is where your true character emerges, where your real strength takes shape. In those solitary moments when you face your greatest challenges, something extraordinary happens within you. Your mind becomes sharper, your resolve stronger, and your character more defined. This isn't just positive thinking. It's a fundamental truth about human nature. When we face obstacles alone, we tap into resources we never knew we possessed. Consider the life of Thomas Edison in his quest to create the light bulb. Night after night, he worked alone in his laboratory, testing thousands of materials, facing countless failures. The world slept while he persisted. It wasn't a team that discovered the right filament. It was Edison's solitary determination, his unwavering focus during those lonely hours that led to breakthrough. His personal battle wasn't just about invention. It was about maintaining faith in his vision when no one else could see it. Helen Keller's story teaches us another powerful lesson about solitary struggles. Though Anne Sullivan was her teacher, Keller's breakthrough moment came in profound isolation, in the silence and darkness of her own mind. She had to make sense of language, had to connect the dots, had to build understanding from within herself. No one could make those connections for her. Her strength emerged from her internal battles, from her personal fight to make sense of a world she couldn't see or hear. Abraham Lincoln, who battled depression throughout his life, his strength wasn't built in crowded rooms or on public stages. It was forged in solitary moments, wrestling with his thoughts, writing in his journal, working through his doubts alone. These private battles shaped him into the leader who could later guide a nation through its darkest hours. There's a crucial difference between group support and individual growth. When we're supported by others, we often adapt to their expectations, lean on their strength, borrow their courage. But when we face challenges alone, we're forced to develop these qualities within ourselves. It's like learning to walk. At some point, you have to let go of the hand that's holding you up. Personal battles build something that team efforts can't. They build self-reliance. When you solve a problem alone, when you push through fear alone, when you overcome doubt alone, you develop a kind of strength that becomes permanent. It becomes part of who you are, not something you need to borrow from others. Times in your own life when you faced a challenge alone. Maybe it was making a difficult decision, overcoming a personal fear, or pushing through a moment of doubt. Remember how different it felt from times when you had support? That feeling of standing on your own, that mixture of uncertainty and determination. That's where real growth happens. The beauty of personal battles is that they force you to develop complete self-sufficiency. When there's no one to give you answers, you must find them yourself. When there's no one to motivate you, you must find your own reasons to continue. When there's no one to comfort you in failure, you must learn to pick yourself up and try again. This doesn't mean that support from others isn't valuable. It absolutely is. But the strongest foundation for your life isn't built on external support. It's built on the strength you develop when that support isn't available. It's like building muscle. The resistance, the struggle, the temporary discomfort are exactly what make you stronger. These solitary battles also teach you something crucial about life, that you're capable of far more than you imagine. Every time you face a challenge alone and overcome it, you expand your understanding of what's possible. You prove to yourself that you have resources you haven't yet tapped, strength you haven't yet discovered. Within every person lies a vast reservoir of untapped potential, waiting to be discovered through moments of solitary challenge. This isn't just motivation talk. It's a practical reality that successful people throughout history have understood. Your inner resources are like muscles that grow stronger only when tested, and the greatest tests often come when you stand alone. Self-reliance isn't just about being independent. It's about trusting your own judgment, believing in your own capabilities, and taking full responsibility for your life. Think about the first time you solved a major problem on your own. Remember that moment of realization? That feeling of "I can handle this," that wasn't just a temporary boost of confidence. It was you discovering your inner resources. When everything external is stripped away, when you can't call for help or lean on others' experience, something remarkable happens. Your mind becomes focused, your senses sharpen, and solutions begin to emerge from within. It's like your brain switches to a different gear, one that's always been there but rarely needed when support was readily available. I've seen this countless times in successful people's lives. They reach a point where they must rely completely on their own resources. Maybe it's a business decision where no one else understands their vision. Perhaps it's a personal challenge that others can't relate to. In these moments, they discover capabilities they never knew they had. Isolation has a unique way of revealing these hidden capabilities. When you're alone with a challenge, you can't hide from it. You can't delegate it. You can't postpone it hoping someone else will solve it. This forces you to dig deeper, to push beyond your comfort zone, to access parts of yourself that remain dormant in easier times. Think of it like being in a dark room. At first, you can't see anything, but as your eyes adjust, you begin to make out shapes, then details, then clear images. Your inner resources work the same way. When you're forced to rely on them to become clearer and stronger, you start to see opportunities and solutions that were invisible before. Silent determination carries a power that's different from externally motivated effort. When you're working toward a goal and no one else knows about it, when you're pushing forward without recognition or praise, you develop a special kind of strength. It's pure, untainted by others' expectations or opinions. It comes from a place of genuine self-motivation. This inner drive, this quiet resolve, becomes your most reliable ally. It's there when external motivation fades. It keeps you going when others doubt your path. It sustains you through the inevitable setbacks and failures that come with any worthwhile pursuit. Most importantly, it belongs to you alone. No one can give it to you, and no one can take it away. Your mind holds incredible problem-solving abilities that often remain until you're forced to use them. Think about times when you faced a seemingly impossible situation alone. Didn't solutions eventually emerge? Didn't you find ways to adapt and overcome? This wasn't luck. It was your inner resources responding to the challenge. The power of silent determination shows itself in small ways at first. Maybe you stick to a morning routine when everyone else is sleeping. Perhaps you maintain your standards even when no one would notice if you cut corners. These small acts of personal integrity build into a foundation of inner strength that serves you in bigger challenges. Each time you face a challenge alone, you're not just solving that specific problem. You're expanding your capacity for future challenges. You're building a track record of personal victories that becomes a source of confidence. You're developing what psychologists call self-efficacy, the belief in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. This process of discovering and developing your inner resources isn't always comfortable. Often, it feels like you're being pushed to your limits. But remember, just like physical exercise, mental and emotional growth happens at the edge of your comfort zone. The temporary discomfort is actually a sign that you're growing stronger. Your inner resources also include intuition, the quiet voice that guides you when logic alone isn't enough. In solitude, this voice becomes clearer. Without the noise of others' opinions and advice, you can better hear your own inner wisdom. This connection to your intuition becomes stronger with each challenge you face alone. Remember, the goal isn't to become completely independent of others. Instead, it's to build such a strong foundation of self-reliance that you can choose to work with others from a position of strength rather than dependency. When you know you can handle things alone if necessary, your relationships become more authentic and balanced. The power you discover through silent determination becomes a quiet confidence that others notice. Not arrogance or pride, but the natural authority that comes from knowing your own capabilities. This kind of strength draws others to you, makes you a natural leader, someone others trust to handle difficult situations. The transformation from who you are to who you can become happens in those critical moments of personal crisis. These aren't just challenges, they're doorways to your next level of growth. Let me show you how this process unfolds, piece by piece, in the solitary moments that shape your character. Every personal crisis brings you face to face with your current limitations. Think of it as standing at the edge of your capabilities. Your old solutions don't work anymore. Your familiar patterns fall short. This is when real transformation begins, in that uncomfortable space between what you know and what you need to learn. When crisis hits, most people immediately look outward for solutions. But the real transformation happens when you turn inward instead. In those quiet moments of honest self-reflection, you start to see patterns you've never noticed before. You begin to understand not just what happened, but why it happened, and most importantly, how you can grow from it. Picture a time when everything seemed to fall apart. Maybe you lost a job, faced a personal setback, or hit a wall in your progress. These moments feel like failures, but they're actually opportunities for extraordinary growth. They strip away everything that isn't essential and force you to rebuild from your foundation up. The key to transformation lies in how you handle these moments of crisis. Most people try to rush through them to get back to normal as quickly as possible. But those who truly transform understand that these moments require patience. You need to sit with the discomfort, to examine it, to learn from it. This is where real strength begins to take root. During personal crisis, your mind goes through distinct stages. First comes the shock, the realization that your old ways aren't working anymore. Then comes resistance, the natural urge to fight against change. But if you stay with it, something remarkable happens. Your mind starts to adapt, to see new possibilities, to discover solutions you couldn't see before. This is where self-reflection becomes crucial. Not just thinking about what happened, but really examining your responses, your decisions, your patterns. What led to this moment? What could you have done differently? What strengths did you discover in yourself that you didn't know you had? These questions aren't just academic. They're the tools that forge new understanding. Mental fortitude isn't built in comfortable time. It's built in moments when you want to quit but choose to continue. It's built when you face your fears instead of running from them. It's built when you choose to learn from failure rather than being defeated by it. Each time you make these choices, you're laying another brick in the foundation of your mental strength. The transformation process often feels lonely. Nobody else can fully understand what you're going through. Nobody else can do the inner work for you. But this solitude is actually a gift. It allows you to hear your own thoughts clearly, to truly understand your own needs and capabilities, to build genuine self-reliance. As you go through personal crisis, you'll discover something fascinating. Your capacity for growth is far greater than you imagined. What seemed impossible becomes achievable. What looked like an ending becomes a beginning. Your perception of your own capabilities expands with each challenge you overcome. Building mental fortitude is like building physical strength. It requires consistent effort and progressive challenge. Each crisis you face becomes a training ground. Each setback becomes an opportunity to practice resilience. Each moment of doubt becomes a chance to reinforce your determination. Throughout this process, you'll notice your inner dialogue changing. Where you once saw obstacles, you'll start seeing opportunities. Where you once felt fear, you'll find curiosity. Where you once wanted to retreat, you'll feel the urge to advance. This isn't just positive thinking. It's the natural result of proving to yourself, again and again, that you can handle more than you thought possible. The transformation process also changes how you view struggle itself. Instead of seeing it as something to avoid, you begin to recognize it as a signal of growth. Like a butterfly emerging from its cocoon, the struggle itself is what makes you strong. Without resistance, there can be no transformation. Your responses to crisis become more measured, more strategic. You learn to pause before reacting, to think before deciding, to plan before acting. This isn't just about being careful. It's about developing wisdom through experience. Each crisis teaches you something valuable about yourself and about life. As mental fortitude builds, you'll find yourself becoming more resilient to minor setbacks. What once might have derailed you for days now barely slows you down. This isn't because the challenges are smaller. It's because you've grown stronger. Your capacity to handle difficulty has expanded through each transformation you've undergone. Remember, transformation isn't about changing who you are. It's about becoming more fully yourself. It's about stripping away what doesn't serve you and strengthening what does. Through each personal crisis, you're not just solving problems. You're uncovering your true capabilities. The process of transformation continues throughout life. Each new level of growth brings new challenges, new opportunities for development. But with each cycle, you bring greater wisdom, stronger resilience, and deeper understanding to the process. You learn to trust in your ability to transform, to grow, to become stronger through whatever challenges life presents. This journey of transformation, though often difficult, leads to a kind of strength that nothing can shake. Because you've built it yourself through your own efforts and insights, it becomes a permanent part of who you are. This is the true value of facing personal crisis alone. It forces you to develop resources that remain with you forever. Let me show you exactly how to turn these ideas into daily actions that build lasting inner strength. This isn't about grand gestures. It's about consistent, practical steps that transform solitude into your greatest advantage. Start your day with what I call the power hour. Wake up 1 hour earlier than necessary. This extra time belongs to you alone. No phone calls, no emails, no social media. Use this hour to build your mental and emotional foundation for the day. 10 minutes for quiet reflection. 20 minutes for planning. 30 minutes for working on your most important personal goal. Create a morning ritual that centers you. Maybe it's writing in a journal. Maybe it's sitting in silence. Maybe it's physical exercise. The specific activity matters less than the consistency. What's crucial is that you do this alone, without distractions. This solitary practice becomes your daily anchor, your time to build inner resources before the world makes demands on you. Develop what I call strategic solitude. Set aside specific times each day when you deliberately work alone. This isn't about isolating yourself. It's about creating space for deep focus and personal growth. Turn off notifications. Find a quiet space. Use this time to tackle your most challenging tasks, the ones that require your full mental capacity. Practice what I call the 3 questions technique. At the end of each day, ask yourself, what did I learn today? What did I accomplish? What could I have done better? Write down your answers. This simple practice builds self-awareness and helps you track your growth. Do this alone when you can think clearly and honestly. Build your emotional strength through what I call discomfort training. Each day, do something that pushes you slightly outside your comfort zone. Take on a task you'd usually avoid. Have a conversation you've been postponing. Make a decision you've been delaying. Start small, but be consistent. Each time you face discomfort alone, you build resilience. Create a personal feedback system. Don't wait for others to tell you how you're doing. Set clear, measurable goals for yourself. Track your progress daily. Be your own toughest critic and your most encouraging supporter. This self-reliant approach to improvement becomes a powerful tool for growth. Turn waiting time into growth time. Those moments when you're alone, waiting for appointments, commuting, standing in line. Use them purposefully. Keep a small notebook with you. Review your goals. Plan your next steps. Practice positive self-talk. These small moments of solitude become opportunities for personal development. Develop what I call the silent solution. When facing a difficult decision or problem, give yourself dedicated time alone to think it through. No music, no background noise, just you and your thoughts. You'll be amazed at the clarity that emerges when you allow yourself this kind of focused solitude. Create a personal success library. Collect ideas, insights, and strategies that work for you. Write down your victories, no matter how small. Document the solutions you discover. This becomes your personal playbook for success, built from your own experience rather than borrowed from others. Practice what I call intentional isolation. This means deliberately choosing times to work alone, even when group options are available. Use these times to develop your problem-solving abilities, to strengthen your decision-making skills, to build your confidence in handling things independently. Build your mental toughness through what I call the 5-minute more rule. When you feel like giving up on a difficult task, push yourself to continue for just 5 more minutes. Do this, especially when you're working alone, when no one else is there to encourage you. These extra 5 minutes build tremendous mental strength over time. Develop a personal crisis protocol. Write down specific steps you'll take when facing difficulties. Include practical actions and mental strategies. Having this protocol ready means you won't have to figure things out in the heat of the moment. You'll have your own tested system to fall back on. Create what I call strength scenarios. Regularly imagine challenging situations and mentally rehearse handling them successfully. Do this during your alone time. This mental preparation builds confidence and readiness for real challenges. Establish daily success rituals. These are specific actions you take at the same time each day, designed to build your inner strength. Maybe it's reading something inspiring first thing in the morning. Maybe it's reviewing your goals before bed. Make these rituals non-negotiable parts of your day. Practice what I call productive pausing. Several times each day, stop what you're doing for 1 minute. Use this time to check in with yourself. Are you moving toward your goals? Are you maintaining your standards? Are you using your time effectively? These brief moments of self-assessment keep you on track. Build your decision-making muscle through daily practice. Make small decisions quickly and definitively when you're alone. What to wear, what to eat, what tasks to do first. Don't waste time second-guessing these choices. This builds confidence in your judgment and prepares you for bigger decisions. Create a personal energy management system. Identify when you're most focused and productive when working alone. Schedule your most important tasks during these peak times. Protect these periods from interruptions. This maximizes the benefit of your solitary work time. Develop what I call the growth graph. Keep a simple chart tracking your progress in key areas of your life, updated daily or weekly. This visual representation of your growth becomes a powerful motivator, especially during challenging times. Practice self-appreciation. At the end of each day, acknowledge one thing you did well. Don't wait for others to recognize your efforts. Build the habit of validating your own progress and celebrating your own victories, no matter how small. Create regular review periods. Weekly, monthly, and quarterly, take time alone to assess your progress and adjust your course. These periods of focused reflection help you stay aligned with your goals and maintain momentum in your personal growth. Remember, the goal of all these practices isn't to become a loner. It's to build such strong inner resources that you can engage with others from a position of genuine strength and independence. When you're strong in yourself, you bring more value to every relationship and every situation. These practices, done consistently, create a foundation of inner strength that nothing can shake. They turn solitude from something to be avoided into a powerful tool for personal growth. They build the kind of self-reliance that makes you an asset in any situation. Your personal success system, built through these daily practices, becomes your unique formula for achievement. It's not borrowed from someone else or dependent on external circumstances. It's authentic to you, tested by your experience, proven by your results. The strength you build in solitude serves a purpose far greater than personal achievement. It creates a foundation that supports not just your life, but the lives of countless others. This is where individual growth transforms into community impact, where personal strength becomes a resource for collective good. When you develop genuine inner strength, you become what I call a quiet pillar in your community. Think about the people you naturally turn to in times of crisis. They're often not the loudest or most visible, but the ones who've built true inner strength through their own struggles. They can support others because they first learn to stand strong themselves. Every person who develops real inner strength becomes a stable point in an unstable world. When the storms of life hit your community, whether it's economic hardship, natural disasters, or personal crises, those with genuine inner strength don't crumble. They become anchors that others can hold on to. They maintain clarity when others are confused, stability when others are shaken. Consider how your personal growth affects those around you. When you handle challenges with grace and determination, you show others what's possible. Your example speaks louder than words. Children watching you learn resilience. Colleagues observe how you handle setbacks. Friends draw inspiration from your quiet strength. You're teaching valuable lessons without saying a word. This ripple effect of personal growth extends far beyond your immediate circle. Each person who witnesses your strength, who sees how you handle difficulties, who observes your self-reliance, they carry these lessons into their own lives. They share them with others. The impact multiplies in ways you might never see. Strong individuals create strong families. When you develop true inner strength, you bring stability to your home. Your children learn not just from what you say, but from watching how you handle life's challenges. They absorb lessons about resilience, determination, and self-reliance that will serve them throughout their lives. In the workplace, those with genuine inner strength naturally become leaders, whether or not they hold formal positions. Their stability draws others to them. Their clear thinking helps guide teams through difficulties. Their self-reliance inspires confidence. They create islands of calm and seas of chaos. Your personal strength becomes a resource that others can draw upon without depleting you. Unlike material resources that diminish when shared, inner strength grows stronger through use. The more you support others from your foundation of personal strength, the stronger that foundation becomes. Times of community crisis. Who steps forward, usually? It's those who've developed real inner strength through their own struggles. They have the emotional reserves to help others. They have the mental clarity to solve problems. They have the resilience to persist when others give up. Their individual strength becomes a community asset. The ripple effect works in subtle ways too. When you handle your own challenges well, you reduce the burden on others. When you maintain your composure in difficult situations, you help keep others calm. When you solve problems independently, you free up resources. For those who truly need help, your self-reliance contributes to community resilience. Being a pillar for others doesn't mean carrying their burdens. Instead, it means showing them through your example that they can develop their own strength. You become living proof that challenges can be overcome, that inner resources can be developed, that personal growth is possible. Your growth inspires others to grow. Your strength encourages others to become stronger. Your self-reliance motivates others to develop their own. This is how individual transformation leads to community transformation. One person at a time, each inspiring others to discover their own inner strength. The impact of your personal growth extends into future generations. The strength you develop doesn't die with you. It lives on in the lessons you've taught, the examples you've set, the lives you've touched. Your journey of personal growth becomes part of a larger story of human development. Consider how society changes when more individuals develop true inner strength. Communities become more resilient. Families become more stable. Workplaces become more productive. The collective benefits of individual strength create positive change that extends far beyond any single person. This is why the solitary struggles you face today have meaning beyond your personal growth. Each challenge you overcome, each bit of strength you develop, each example you set, these contribute to the larger tapestry of human progress. Your individual journey becomes part of humanity's journey. Remember this when difficult times alone. Your strength isn't just for you. It's a gift you give to your family, your community, your world. The inner resources you develop through solitary struggles become part of the collective resources that help humanity move forward. The strength you build in private moments serves public needs. The resilience you develop through personal challenges helps others face their own difficulties. The self-reliance you cultivate through solitary struggles contributes to community independence. Your personal growth becomes a catalyst for collective growth. This is the greater purpose of individual strength, to serve as a foundation for community well-being, to provide stability in times of change, to offer hope through example, to contribute to the ongoing story of human development. Your solitary journey of growth is part of something much larger than yourself. Now, in these final moments, let me give you specific steps to begin this journey of building lasting, self-reliant strength. The power to transform your life doesn't lie in some distant future. It begins the moment you finish hearing these words. Start tomorrow morning, 1 hour earlier than usual. In that quiet time before the world wakes up, write down your biggest challenge. Not what others think your challenge is, but what you know you must overcome. This becomes your first battlefield for building inner strength. Face it alone, face it bravely. Create 3 daily appointments with yourself, morning, noon, and evening. These aren't flexible meetings. They're non-negotiable commitments to your growth. Use these moments for self-reflection, planning, and honest assessment of your progress. Treat them with the same respect you'd give to meetings with the most important people in your life. Begin what I call the 7-day strength sprint. For the next week, tackle one small challenge each day that you've been avoiding. Maybe it's a difficult conversation, a task you've postponed, or a decision you've delayed. Handle it alone. Complete it fully. Document your success. This builds momentum that carries into bigger challenges. Establish your personal growth framework. Take a notebook. This becomes your success journal. Each evening, write down 3 things: what you did today that made you stronger, what you learned from your struggles, and what you'll do tomorrow to build on this progress. This simple practice creates a record of your transformation. Remember this fundamental truth? Every moment of solitary struggle shapes your character. Those times when you feel most alone, most tested, most challenged, these are the moments forging your future strength. Embrace them, use them. Learn from them, they are your greatest teachers. The strength you build through these practices becomes permanent. Unlike temporary motivation or borrowed courage, self-reliant strength stays with you. It becomes part of who you are. 5 years from now, you won't remember all the comfortable moments, but you'll never forget the challenges you overcame alone. Start carrying a small card with you on it. Write your personal strength statement. I have the resources within me to handle whatever comes my way. Read it when doubts creep in. Read it when challenges seem overwhelming. Read it until you don't need to read it anymore because you know it's true. Implement what I call the 3-step response to every challenge. First, face it squarely. No avoidance, no excuses. Second, break it down into manageable parts. Third, take immediate action on the first step. This simple system prevents paralysis and builds momentum. The impact of what you're building goes beyond your own life. Your example will show others what's possible. Your strength will give them courage. Your growth will inspire their growth. This isn't just about personal achievement. It's about contributing to the strength of your entire community. For the next 30 days, you'll spend at least 1 hour each day in focused, solitary effort toward your most important goal. No distractions, no excuses, no compromises. This single commitment kept faithfully can transform your life. Your future self is watching you right now, waiting to see what you'll do with this moment. Will you fall back into old patterns of dependency and avoidance? Or will you step forward into the challenge of building true, lasting, self-reliant strength? The choice is yours, but the time is now. Every moment you postpone is a moment of potential strength lost. Every challenge you avoid is an opportunity for growth missed. Every excuse you make is a barrier to your own development. The strength you seek isn't found in easy times, but comfortable situations. It's forged in moments of solitary challenge, tempered in the fires of personal struggle, proven in times of individual testing. These moments aren't your enemy. They are your opportunity. Take action today, not tomorrow, not next week, not when conditions are perfect. Start now with whatever challenge is in front of you. Face it alone. Work through it. Grow from it. Let it build your strength. Your journey towards self-reliant strength begins with a single step, taken alone, in the direction of your greatest challenge. Take that step now. The strength you develop, the character you build, the capability you create. These become your legacy, your contribution, your gift to the world. The time for action is now. The place for beginning is here. The person to take the first step is you. Start building your strength today, one solitary challenge at a time, one personal victory at a time, one step towards your greatest potential at a time. The strength you seek comes from the struggles you face alone.